Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast, practical science for everyone. If you're a man over 60 and you've been feeling off, like your energy fades faster than it used to, like your drive is slipping, and in the bedroom, things aren't what they once were. Let me say this clearly, you're not imagining it. But what if the problem isn't your age? What if it's something much more fixable? Something happening inside your blood vessels, slowly cutting off the very circulation that once made you feel alive, powerful, and fully present. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott. For over 30 years, I've helped men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond reclaim strength, stamina, and intimacy without injections, without gimmicks, and without shame. And what I've found again and again is this. It's not testosterone therapy most men need. It's nutritional restoration, a precise set of vitamins and minerals your body has quietly stopped absorbing over time. Today, I'll walk you through 6 critical nutrients. Each one plays a unique role in your blood flow, cellular energy, hormone balance, and even mental clarity. And when they work together, in the right forms, in the right doses, they unlock a synergy most men haven't felt in decades. You'll also learn the 2 most common mistakes that block results in men over 60, mistakes that turn good intentions into wasted effort. So if you're ready to stop just coping and start restoring, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and let's begin this journey together. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 and tell me what you'd like to hear more about. This is a conversation, and I'm listening. Now, let's dive into the first and most overlooked key to male vitality. Vitamin C, not just for colds, but for circulation, confidence, and connection.
1. Vitamin C, the circulation commander. Let me tell you something your doctor probably hasn't said out loud. The reason you feel slower, heavier, or disconnected after 60, it's not always hormones. It's not just age. It's your circulation quietly breaking down. And one of the most overlooked reasons behind that breakdown? Vitamin C deficiency. Yeah, that same vitamin you were told to take for colds back in high school. But let me tell you something. Vitamin C isn't just an immune booster. It's a circulation commander and one of the most powerful allies your arteries have. I've seen it over and over again in my clinic. A man walks in, late 60s, maybe early 70s. Not sick, not frail, just fading. His labs look fine, his diet's pretty good, but underneath, his blood flow is struggling. Muscles starving for oxygen. Arteries stiffening, intimacy slipping quietly into memory. That was Robert, 67 years old, retired engineer, sharp mind, steady hands. But when he sat across from me that morning, his shoulders were slumped, his voice was soft. Doc, I used to be full of energy. I got things done. Now I fade by 2 p.m. like someone pulled the plug. Then he paused, looked down. But the hardest part is how it's affecting my wife. I feel like I've let her down. I've heard those words before. And let me tell you, they never get easier. Because this isn't about performance. It's about connection, about showing up for the people you love. But here's the good news. We can fix it. Vitamin C is essential for one reason most men don't realize. It helps your body produce collagen, which keeps your arteries flexible, resilient, and open. It protects the endothelium, that delicate inner lining of your blood vessels that controls how blood flows. And maybe most importantly, it helps preserve nitric oxide, the molecule that tells your arteries, hey, it's time to open up and let the blood flow. Without enough vitamin C, nitric oxide breaks down faster than your body can use it. And when that happens, circulation drops. Muscles don't recover. Erections fade. Confidence erodes. This isn't guesswork. It's clinical fact. Studies show that vitamin C can improve blood flow by up to 50% in men with cardiovascular concerns. That's not just a number. That's the difference between feeling flat and feeling fully present again. Now here's the problem. Around 7% of American adults are already low in vitamin C, and in men over 60, that number climbs much higher. Why? Because aging slows absorption. We stop eating fresh produce. We spend more time indoors. And even when we try to eat better, it's not enough to reach optimal levels. Most multivitamins give you just 90 milligrams per day, the bare minimum. But for restoring blood flow and performance, that's like bringing a garden hose to a forest fire. What works consistently is this: 500 to 1,000 milligrams per day, ideally in a buffered form that's gentle on your stomach and combined with bioflavonoids to boost absorption. That's what I gave Robert. Nothing exotic, no testosterone patches, just the right dose every morning. 3 months later, he came back, standing taller, skin brighter. And when I asked him how he felt, he smiled, eyes lit. He said, "The energy's back, and so is Margaret." Now listen, I'm not here to sell you magic, but I've seen what your body can do when you finally give it what it's been missing. Vitamin C is the foundation. It opens the gates, clears the path, gets the blood flowing again. It doesn't do everything, but without it, nothing else works right. And speaking of what comes next, if vitamin C is the road crew for your circulation, zinc is the spark that fires your hormonal engine. And most men past 60, they're running low and don't even know it. Let's talk about that next.
2. Zinc, the testosterone trigger. There's a look I've come to recognize. A man walks in, sharp shirt, firm handshake, maybe still running a business or newly retired. On the outside, everything seems fine. But in his eyes, there's something missing. Fatigue, frustration, that quiet sense that something vital has slipped away. That was Michael, 63 years old, business consultant. The guy executives paid to lead the room, steer the strategy, carry the weight. But when he sat down across from me, he wasn't leading anything. He leaned in and said, "Doc, I don't feel like the man I used to be. I'm tired. I've stopped enjoying things. My motivation's gone. And honestly, I feel like I've let my wife down." Then he asked the question I hear more often than you might think. Is this just aging, or is something wrong with me? And here's the truth. For most men like Michael, it's not age. It's zinc. Zinc is what I call the testosterone trigger. Without it, your body struggles to make testosterone, full stop. And when testosterone drops, so does your energy, your focus, your confidence, your performance. But zinc goes beyond hormones. It supports over 300 enzyme reactions, everything from metabolism and tissue repair to immune defense and heart rhythm. And here's something most men never hear. Your prostate holds more zinc than any other part of your body. Not your liver, not your bones, your prostate. That's how central zinc is to male biology. It helps reduce inflammation, supports healthy prostate function, and may even reduce nighttime bathroom trips that wreck your sleep and drain your energy. Michael's blood work told the full story. His serum zinc was just 65 mcg per deciliter, far below optimal. And sadly, that's not rare. Over 60% of men past 60 have low or borderline zinc. Even higher if you have digestive issues, diabetes, or take medications that block absorption. Why is zinc deficiency so common? Because as we age, stomach acid production drops, and without enough acid, you don't absorb zinc from food. Add in chronic stress, poor appetite, or processed diets, and you've got a recipe for slow, steady hormonal decline. But here's the silver lining. Zinc is highly correctable if you take the right form. The problem? Most guys grab cheap zinc oxide, the stuff in drugstore multis. But zinc oxide has terrible absorption, less than 15%. Michael had been taking it for months and feeling nothing. We switched him to 25 milligrams of zinc citrate, highly absorbable, gentle on the gut. Taken at night away from meals to maximize uptake. Within weeks, things began to shift. His serum values ticked up, but more importantly, he came back. He told me, "Doc, I wake up feeling refreshed again. I'm getting things done. My spark's coming back." Even my wife noticed, not just physically, but emotionally, I'm present again. That's what zinc does. It doesn't just boost testosterone. It helps you show up, fully, consistently, and confidently. So if you're feeling drained, uninspired, like you're running on fumes, don't write it off as just aging. Check your zinc. Aim for 15 to 30 milligrams per day, ideally as zinc citrate or zinc picolinate. Take it on an empty stomach or before bed. And if you're on meds or have gut issues, talk to your doctor about other options. Because when zinc levels rise, so does everything else. Hormones, energy, presence, drive. But here's the key. Even with testosterone rising, your body still needs fuel, because hormones are just the spark. But without fuel, you're still stuck. That's where we go next, to a mineral so essential, so foundational, that your heart, your muscles, even your brain can't function without it. Let's talk about magnesium, the metabolic spark.
3. Magnesium, the metabolic spark plug. There's a certain kind of exhaustion that no nap can fix. It's not just being tired, it's feeling like your body's betraying you. You eat clean, you walk every day, you even get a solid 7 hours, and yet every morning feels like climbing a hill in the fog. That was David, 65 years old, disciplined, lean, a former Navy man who still made his bed at 5:30 a.m. and logged his meals like clockwork. But when he sat in front of me, his voice dropped. "Doc, I've done everything right, but I still feel empty, like someone pulled the spark out of me." Then he added, almost ashamed, "And I've stopped being intimate with my wife, not because I don't want to. I just don't have it in me anymore." Now, when a man like David says that, you listen, because that's not laziness, that's not aging, that's cellular exhaustion. What David didn't know, and what most men don't, is that the problem wasn't his heart, or his testosterone, or even his diet. It was his magnesium. You see, magnesium is the spark plug of the male body. It fuels over 300 enzyme reactions, from how your cells make energy to how your nerves fire, your heart beats, your muscles contract, and your hormones flow. It powers the mitochondria, the energy factories in your cells. Without it, your body can't create ATP, the currency of energy. So even if you sleep well, eat clean, and stay active, your body still feels like it's running on empty. Magnesium doesn't stop there. It also regulates blood pressure, balances blood sugar, calms your nervous system, improves sleep quality, eases muscle cramps, enhances testosterone production, relaxes blood vessels, which improves circulation and performance in all the right places. But here's the kicker. Most men over 60 are low in magnesium and don't even know it. Why? Because magnesium is stored in your tissues, not your blood, so standard blood tests often miss the deficiency. And even if you eat well, magnesium absorption drops with age, especially if you're on meds like diuretics, proton pump inhibitors like omeprazole, or statins. That's what was happening with David. On paper, he was doing everything right, but inside, his cells were starving. We started him on 400 milligrams of magnesium citrate per day, a form that absorbs well and is gentle on digestion. We added a few magnesium-rich foods, spinach, almonds, pumpkin seeds, even some dark chocolate. 2 weeks later, he walked into my office with a little bounce in his step. "Doc, I'm sleeping again. I wake up rested, I don't drag myself to the coffee pot anymore, and last night," he just smiled. Let's just say my wife noticed. 3 months later, he looked like a man who'd found his rhythm again. And that's exactly what this is all about. Not chasing youth, but reclaiming your rhythm. So if you're over 60 and dealing with chronic fatigue, weakness, brain fog, leg cramps, poor sleep, low libido, magnesium might be the missing link. Start with 400 to 420 milligrams per day, ideally as magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate, both highly absorbable and easy on digestion. Avoid magnesium oxide. It barely absorbs and often causes digestive upset. And remember, this isn't about feeling a little better. This is about restoring cellular function so your whole system works better. Your heart, your mind, your muscles, and your intimacy. And while magnesium gives your cells the fuel to fire, there's one more nutrient that acts more like a hormone than a vitamin, and it might be the hidden switch that turns your whole system back on. Let's talk about vitamin D, and why for men over 60, it may be the most powerful hormone you're not taking seriously enough.
4. Vitamin D, the hormone-like vitamin. Before we dive in, I want to answer a question I've seen pop up in the comments more than once. "Doc, I'm outside almost every day. I golf, I walk my dog. How can I possibly be low in vitamin D?" It's a fair question, and I hear it all the time. So let me introduce you to Harold. 70 years old, former high school football coach. Still active, still sharp, still getting outside every morning. He came into my office not because something specific was wrong, but because something wasn't right. He said, "Doc, I'm just not myself anymore. I don't sleep well, I'm irritable, I'm not interested in sex, I feel like I'm fading, and I don't know why." Now, this wasn't depression, this wasn't burnout, this was biochemistry disrupted. When we ran his labs, his testosterone was low, but what really caught my eye was his vitamin D level, barely 20 ng/ml, well below optimal. And that's when the pieces started falling into place. You see, vitamin D isn't just a vitamin. It behaves more like a hormone, influencing over 2,000 genes, including the ones tied to testosterone production, immune resilience, mood and motivation, heart rhythm, muscle strength, and cognitive sharpness. Low vitamin D has been linked to everything from fatigue and anxiety to poor sleep, low libido, and even cardiovascular decline. And here's the kicker. Most men over 60 are deficient, even the ones spending time outdoors. Why? Because as you age, your skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into usable vitamin D. Kidney and liver function, critical for vitamin D activation, also decline. Throw in medications, indoor lifestyles, sunscreen, and guess what? That daily walk might not be doing enough. Another listener wrote in and asked, "Doc,
I take a multivitamin. Doesn't that cover it? I wish it did, but most multis include just 400 IUs of vitamin D, far too low to correct deficiency in older adults. What worked for Harold and what I recommend for most men over 60 is 2,000 to 4,000 IUs of vitamin D3, the active form, taken with the meal that contains healthy fat to improve absorption. After 6 weeks, Harold told me he was sleeping deeper, his irritability faded, his energy stretched further into the evening, and, his words, I feel like I've come home to myself. 3 months later, his wife came in with him. She smiled, took my hand, and said, "Thank you. I got my husband back." So if you've been feeling flat, foggy, or unmotivated, don't dismiss it. Check your 25-hydroxy vitamin D level. Optimal range is 40 to 60 ng/ml. If you're below 30, you're already in deficiency territory. And if you're supplementing, use D3, not D2. Pair it with the meal. Stay consistent. And if you've got liver, kidney, or gut issues, talk to your provider about higher dose protocols. Because when vitamin D rises, so does everything else. Mood, testosterone, strength, cardiovascular health, sleep. And while vitamin D restores your hormonal rhythm, there's still one more piece we haven't touched yet. A system most men don't think about until it starts failing them. Your nervous system, the thing that controls how you think, focus, react, remember, and stay connected mentally and emotionally. Let's talk about the B-complex vitamins and why they might be the missing link between who you are and how fully you show up.
5. B-complex, the nerve and energy support system. Before we begin, I want to read a question that came in from a listener named James. Dr. Prescott, I'm 69 and still pretty active, but lately I've been losing my train of thought mid-sentence. I forget names, even words I use every day. I'm scared it might be early dementia. Is this just age, or can I do something about it? James, I hear you. And first, let me say, you're not alone. There's nothing more unsettling than feeling like your mind is slipping. Not in big dramatic ways, but in the quiet, day-to-day moments. You walk into a room and forget why. You reread the same sentence twice. You hear someone talk and your brain just doesn't keep up. That was Frank, 68 years old, retired teacher, loved by generations of students. But when he came in, his shoulders were tight, his voice hesitant. "Doc, I feel like I'm still me inside, but my brain isn't showing up anymore." He'd stopped finishing his crossword puzzles, stopped joining conversations, not out of apathy, but because it was easier than pretending to follow. What Frank didn't know, and what James may not either, is that this mental fog isn't always dementia. In many cases, it's a simple, correctable deficiency in a family of nutrients called the B-complex vitamins, specifically B6, B12, and folate. These vitamins are the lifeblood of your nervous system. They help build neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine for focus and mood, repair the myelin sheath that protects your nerves, regulate homocysteine, an amino acid tied to memory loss and vascular damage, convert food into real, usable energy, and support red blood cell production for oxygen delivery to your brain and muscles. And here's the thing. Absorbing B vitamins gets harder with age, especially B12. Even if you eat plenty of meat, your stomach may no longer produce intrinsic factor, the compound needed to absorb it. Another listener, Al from Phoenix, asked, "Doc,
I eat steak twice a week. How could I be low in B12? Because it's not about what you eat. It's about what your body can extract and absorb. When we tested Frank, his B12 was low, folate borderline, and his homocysteine elevated, a red flag for both heart and grain aging. We started him on a methylated B complex, methylcobalamin, B12, P5P, B6, and methylfolate, B9. These active forms bypass the digestive hurdles and go straight to work. No guesswork, no synthetic garbage, just clean support for the nervous system. Within 4 weeks, Frank was sharper. He started finishing his crossword puzzles again. He joked more, smiled more, looked me in the eye. And when his wife came in with him for a follow-up, she said, "He's back. He's really back." But B vitamins aren't just for memory. They also reduce blood vessel inflammation, improve oxygen delivery to muscles, enhance mood and emotional resilience, boost physical energy throughout the day. If you've been feeling mentally tired, emotionally flat, like your energy disappears by noon, your B vitamin status might be quietly working against you. Here's what I recommend for most men over 60. 500 to 1,000 micrograms of methylcobalamin, B12, 20 to 50 milligrams of P5P, B6, 400 to 800 micrograms of methylfolate, B9. Make sure the label says methylated. That's the key. Take it with breakfast to support brain function and steady energy all day long. Because when your brain gets what it needs, it doesn't just work better. You feel present again, capable, engaged, alive. And here's the most powerful part. While each of these nutrients, vitamin C, zinc, magnesium, vitamin D, and the B complex, works wonders on its own, when you combine them strategically, something extraordinary happens. In our next segment, we'll explore that synergy, how the right combination doesn't just add up, it multiplies your strength, your energy, your clarity, and your connection. Let's talk about the science and the stories behind nutrient synergy.
6. The power of synergy. Why these 5 work best together. Let me share a comment we received from Tom in Oregon. It stuck with me. "Doc, I've tried all these vitamins at different times. One helped a little, another not much. But I never felt the kind of shift you talk about. Am I missing something?" Tom, you're not the only one asking that. And what you just described, it's something I call fragmented fixing. Trying one supplement here, another one there, hoping for results, but never unlocking the full effect. Because here's the truth most supplement companies won't tell you. These nutrients weren't meant to work alone. Your body's not a collection of compartments, it's a living system. And when the pieces are supported together, they create something far more powerful than the sum of their parts. That's what I saw with James, 68 years old, retired math teacher, precise, organized, tracked everything. He tried vitamin C for a while, then zinc, then magnesium. All decent results, but never dramatic. "Doc, I feel like I'm doing the right things, but I'm not getting the payoff." What James didn't realize, and what many men don't, is that he wasn't doing it wrong. He just wasn't doing it together. So we built a simple synergy protocol. 1,000 milligrams buffered vitamin C with bioflavonoids, morning. 25 milligrams zinc citrate, bedtime. 400 milligrams magnesium glycinate, evening. 2000 IU D3 with a fat-rich breakfast. High-quality methylated B-complex breakfast. No megadosing, no gimmicks, just precision plus consistency. Within weeks, James noticed the shift not just in one area, but everywhere. He told me, "I'm not just more awake, I'm here. My wife says I talk more, I move better, I even laugh more." And I could see it in his posture, his eyes, his tone. He'd re-entered his life. So what is this synergy? Let's break it down. Vitamin C improves how your gut absorbs zinc and protects both zinc and magnesium from oxidative stress. Zinc boosts nitric oxide production with vitamin C, supports testosterone synthesis with vitamin D. Magnesium fuels enzyme activation, helping your body actually use the B vitamins and regulate hormone production. And vitamin D enhances testosterone, supports mood, bone strength, and over 2,000 genes, many tied to energy and focus. It's not magic, it's biology, finally given what it needs all at once. Another listener, Ray from Florida, asked, "Doc, I'm already taking a few of these, but how do I know they're working together?" Great question, Ray, and the answer is simple. If you're still tired, foggy, disconnected, or inconsistent, it's probably not the nutrients, it's the protocol. The wrong forms, the wrong doses, or too many gaps in consistency. That's why I always say, it's not just what you take, it's how, when, and with what you take it. Because when the nutrients are matched, supported, and timed, you don't just get better labs, you get better mornings, better movement, better connection, better you. And listen, I've seen this synergy revive men in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s. Men who'd quietly given up, who thought they were just getting old, and who now wake up feeling capable again, sharper, stronger, steadier. So if you've tried one thing here or there and felt disappointed, don't write yourself off. Maybe you weren't doing it wrong. Maybe you just weren't doing it together. And yet, even when the nutrients are right, the forms are right, the synergy's humming, there's still one final barrier that holds most men back. And it has nothing to do with what you take and everything to do with how you take it. In our final segment, I'll show you the two most common mistakes that quietly sabotage your results and how to fix them fast. So don't miss it. This last piece might just be the key you've been waiting for.
7. The final mistakes and how to fix them. As we near the end of today's episode, I want to address something a listener named Victor from San Diego wrote in last week. He said, "Doc, I've been following your protocol for a month, and I feel a little better, but not dramatically. Could I be doing something wrong?" Victor, first of all, thank you for reaching out. And second, yes, it's possible. Because even when the right nutrients are in place, 2 small mistakes can quietly sabotage your results. Let's break them down. Mistake number 1, inconsistency disguised as effort. This one's sneaky. You take your supplements 4 days in a row, then skip a day. Take them at night one day, after breakfast the next. Run out for a week, start again, then forget which day you started again. Sound familiar? Here's what I tell my patients. Your body doesn't care what you intend to take. It responds to what you consistently deliver. Nutrients don't work like caffeine or painkillers. They build, they restore, they layer back in what's been missing for years. That takes daily input, not occasional spurts. Solution? Build a rhythm. Put your supplements in a pill organizer. Pair them with a daily habit, brushing teeth, making coffee, checking your phone. Whatever works, but make it automatic. Mistake number 2, taking the wrong forms. Another listener, Brian from Michigan, asked, "I'm taking all 5 nutrients, Doc, but I still feel off. Could it be brand related?" Absolutely.
Because here's the dirty secret of the supplement industry. Most products are underdosed, poorly absorbed, or flat-out junk. Vitamin C as ascorbic acid? Harsh on the gut, low bioavailability. Zinc oxide? Less than 15% gets absorbed. Magnesium oxide? Cheap and mostly ends up in your toilet. B12 as cyanocobalamin? Harder for older adults to convert. Vitamin D2 instead of D3? Less effective. Solution: use bioavailable forms only. Vitamin C, buffered with bioflavonoids. Zinc, citrate or picolinate. Magnesium, glycinate or citrate. Vitamin D, D3 only, taken with fat. B-complex, methylated. Methylcobalamin, P5P, methylfolate. Yes, it costs a little more, but so does wasting months on things that don't work. Now here's the encouraging part. Once you fix these two things, consistency and form quality, the changes come faster. You recover better. You sleep deeper. You focus longer. You connect more. You remember yourself again. Let me leave you with this final message, one that came from Leonard, 72, a retired engineer I mentioned in a past episode. He said, "I'm not trying to be 30 again. I just want to feel like myself, like I can show up for my wife, for my kids, for my life, without dragging through the day." And that, my friend, is the real goal. Not eternal youth, not perfection, just presence, strength, dignity, energy that lasts long enough to matter. So here's what I invite you to do next. Pick one thing from today's episode and apply it today. Drop a comment below. What hit home for you? If you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode made just for men like you. And if today's message helped you, share it with someone else who needs to hear this. You never know what one click can do. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. You're not too old. It's not too late. Your body still remembers how to heal. It just needs your help to begin. Until next time, stay strong, stay sharp, and stay in the fight.